Round one, fight.
All right. I don't know what's up with that, but let's turn this down a little bit. Here we go. All right, much better. I'm pretty sure I got a bad USB cable. I switched USB cables because I needed the longer one to reach my headset while it charges, but it seems like the short one I use for the transmitter was bad. Alright, so that's a lot better.
Is that your best?
MK1 Plus, please. Well, Gustavo, I am working on it. I mean, slowly. It's you know, one thing at a time. And I'd like to work on multiple things at once, and I've kind of been doing that for the past week or so. But I kind of get sidetracked, and then I lose speed doing one project. So it's definitely going, because you'll see here I do have some stuff set up here. I mean, there's going to be a turbo mode, obviously. I got, you know, debug stuff to help speed things up, but then there's add-on mechanics, which is probably my favorite so far. This is probably the single greatest addition so far, but all it does is it allows some crossover aerial stuff that you couldn't do before. And I probably should have got Scorpion, but you can jump over and hit them from the other side. Something you couldn't do before.
Flawless victory.
You see, I have the sound turned off, but some other good stuff I started doing was some aerial moves that are normally in like Mortal Kombat 2. Like you can do Scorpion's teleport in the air now. So a little bit long in the air with his attack before he falls to the ground. So it's kind of hard to get that spear in there. But you get the idea. So it's coming along. I mean, it's on the list of things to do. But first, the priority is MK2. I get its stuff wrapped up here because I know you guys want to have another test to build here. All right, so let's go back to our acid pool, or Deadpool acid drops here. What I started seeing at the end of that last segment was the screen started glitching out, as if it's losing some kind of memory somewhere to the process. But it's pretty straightforward. There's one thread that's created and it's killed, and I don't see that the drops are causing an issue, honestly, because there's only one drop every like, I want to say 80 frames, was it? You know what? Maybe I did not update that. Let's see. Maybe I just hot patched it and forgot to send it over.
Sub-Zero.
All right, so let's check that out again here. All right, that's good.
Sub-Zero. Round one, fight.
Okay. Well, it's let's see, strike. Alright, so let's do this. Let's make sure that's being destroyed. We're going to assign it an instance here. And the instances, we're going to call, we're going to kill that instance rather than the object itself. Let's see, so we'll do it something conventional here. So if we're going to name our thread 420. So with relation to it, let's call this one 421. Yeah, let's see. I believe CO is no CO. Let's see, 1CO. Okay. So this is our instance location here. So instead of destroying the table like that, we can go ahead and go move our instance in there. Instance, object, instance, kill. Oh, that's one thing. Let me check that. That's a good idea. I totally wasn't paying attention to how many times that pallet was being loaded. Wonder if the index of the pallet's going up, causing issues here. No, it doesn't seem to be. You can see here, this 1 and 0. That's the that's the references to how many times that pallet's being used. So you can see when it's definitely decreasing every time. And FFAF CA30 is the pallet for the acid. It's up there, Axel. So it's definitely not a pallet issue with loading too many pallets. It's interesting. I'd like to know what's going on there for future reference, but either way, we can do this route here. See how this works out. You guys think the acid drops are a little too frequent? Yeah, hey, what's up, Michael? Yeah, you know, sometimes I gotta just get on the mic because the texting thing just kind of is too slow. I mean, there's 10 thoughts a second, and I can only get one out. But there's the acid drop there, Michael. I kind of kind of quote unquote restored because that's one of those graphics that were in the game but never used. So it's suspected that it was used for this level. It's kind of weird, like I was saying though, there was like 3 more frames to that ripple, the animation where it ripples, but it was so large it would overlap the platform. So I don't really know what their true intentions were with it, but I eliminated the last 3 frames so it would look good. Alright, so if we fast forward this, I should have kind of timed how long it is before it starts glitching out, but something's going on there after it runs. Obviously it would never mess up an original or in a normal game type because the round would run out, and with each round load everything gets wiped and it's refreshed. So we're going to try this out. We're going to do this other method of killing objects. It's going to kill it by its instance instead of the actual structure table that it's in. Because, I mean, I guess this could be useful if it was creating more than one at once and I didn't realize it. But yeah, let's do that. It's starting to flicker now, so we'll update this routine here. And we'll try this out. We'll see how it does. Yeah, Michael, that was what I just put together today. I got off of work and I figured I would put that in since it wasn't too big of a deal. I just used a lot of what I already had written yesterday. And let's go down. Oops, let's see here. There you go. We're gonna put a breakpoint on this just to see how the first run through goes. Make sure I got everything set up right. Okay, so this is the first instance. It looks like it's gonna kill already. So the way this game works is there's yeah, that's a bug, but Not sure how it's going to affect anything, but we're still going to look into it. There's about 7 or 8 stage layers, and there's a character layer, a string layer, and then there's another layer I call other because it's not even used in the game. But we know our object's going to be placed on the character layer, so it should find its way in here. And the instance should be an A4 here, and we're looking for a. Okay.
Fight.
You know what? It's interesting because I don't see a drop of acid at all. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking here. I got a typo here. Alright, so let's try this again. Alright. So basically, I just made a mistake assigning that instance to that object. I'm going to assume that's what was causing our lack of acid. Since I really didn't do anything directly to it, just changed how it was destroyed. I thought that was a little soon for that to be breaking because there wasn't even any acid called to the screen yet. There we go. So you see the first drop there, and it's gonna be destroyed here once it finds the index here, or the instance here. So let's see, A4, and there it is, the first one, the first object. So the way that works is it's going to find that object through the index of objects on that character layer, and then it's going to pull the palette index, and then it's going to erase that palette or that instance of that palette, and then it's going to re-index the objects or the structures in that particular layer by taking it out of the index, because they're all pretty much linked together. And once you take that out, it kind of it doesn't see it. So when it runs through the tables, it's not in there. All right, so that looks good. Now the question is it still going to glitch out after about 5 minutes of running? So we'll find out. Good way to find out. Let's do this. Let's just play some. Let's just monkey around with some 2v2. That's always fun. Still got to get back to finishing up all these small velocity bugs that seem to be in the game. And let's kind of make it interesting. Let's kind of ramp up the usage here. Let's get 2 smokes on screen, the acid dripping, the chains and everything. Let's see how well it goes. Still on turbo mode, by the way. Faster roundhouses. Sick if I can hit a roundhouse and a spear. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Oh yeah, it's
Outstanding. Well done.
a little nice little move there with reduce uppercut recoveries on the turbo mode.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Superb. You are nothing. You are nothing.
Oh, that'd been awesome. Try to get some of those throw moves in. Some of those are pretty awesome. You throw them right into jacks and get them with the backbreaker in the air. That's one of the velocity things, though. Some of the throws, Liu Kang's bicycle kick. There's some moves that I have to go through individually and kind of address to prepare it for the 2v2 when you tag in. Because normally this game's obviously only got 2 characters playing at once. So there's 2 static locations for velocity on each side. And it kind of wreaks havoc on some of the special moves because they're transition in and out, and the new character might have a velocity it's going at a rate, and the new one that comes in obviously won't have it. Yep, still does it, but I really don't think that's going to be an issue. I'd like to know why it's doing it, but with the amount of time that's passed in a round, I don't see it being an actual issue. But I mean, I'd still like to find out what's causing it. No, Michael, that's with the game. If you play for like 5 minutes with the acid deal, it'll start doing that for some reason. So I went and I redone the actual routine, and I used to call a new thread for every drop of acid. I narrowed it down. I kind of made it just one thread, and I have it just recreating a drop. It'll kill the last drop, make another one. But for some reason, it seems to be causing an issue. It's just, I don't understand why. There are other options I can probably pursue as far as how that works. There's the actual stage routine. I can probably tie into the acid animation, the glimmer. If you notice that the Deadpool's got like a little glimmer to the acid, that's part of the stage routine. Each stage has its special routine that executes when the stage is loaded. So I can probably go that route and try to plug into that and see if that helps it, but I don't know if it will. You find out though. We can just pull it up over here and actually look. We can look at the routine at least and see.
Round one, fight.
All right, so let's see. We have. We have the routine here that's going to load when, oh, not on the pit too, that's for sure. Let's reset. So we're going to do some diving into the routine for the shimmer on the Deadpool acid. And see if we can't, check that out, let's see, 3D AFO. At the wrong breakpoint there. Let's try again. Alright, so it's a simple execution of just launching a thread. So this thread is what's going to make that glimmer. So, I mean, it might allocate a special place for stuff like that. If so, it might be best to put that in there. See here, this is what it's calling. Oh, FO 600. Probably we're gonna see the palette switching. EO, okay. Palette count use. All right, so that's the palette for the acid. FFAB68FO. You see that's 1919. Okay. So this is just pretty much just alternating a couple palettes to make that that shimmer animation on the Deadpool. I really don't see any significance to putting anything else in here. Okay, let's. You know what? I think I found out the problem. Let's find out what's right into that. Don't know the problem. I got a good idea here though. We're gonna find out. Wow, look at that. It's the old game timer thing. I think we've discussed this. Conquer, are you still here in the chat? We had to talk about the game timer. After so long, it will you'll have problems with special moves, and they'll stop working because that game timer kind of spills over. You got to reset it pretty much, but I'm gonna guess that right here at this EA8, once that thing crosses, I don't know, maybe 7FFF, I expect our problem to start. If so, we can definitely fix that pretty easily. But like I said, I don't see this being an actual problem on the actual game unless you're gonna play a lot of matches that that have the no round cheat. Let that run in. Let's see. What's up there, you mean? So war combat will need an extended timer. Yeah, I thought about that. I'm thinking maybe each hit, or maybe take a. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're at 39:16. All right, let's see here. It's definitely not at the point where I thought it was going to be when it started acting up, so. Alright, so we'll take Okay, yeah, it's fortunately, Mike, that's not the issue. The hunt continues. But I mean, man, that's a long time. 3. How many frames is that? Like 14,500 frames. I don't see that that becoming an issue. A normal round is about 300. We have other options we can do as far as the animation goes, which might even be a more efficient way to do it as far as resources. We can, instead of recreating a new drop every time, which should work because it is being destroyed. We can just reuse the same one, reposition it, and call it in another place. We can try that. So we'll probably want to use that. Let's call it drop here. Drip again. So we'll just recycle the same instance, and we'll see if that fixes our problem. Place it off screen will not be. It's not that, Mike. I mean, it's being destroyed. So I don't know what that's about. What I'm gonna do though, let me do something else here, just in case. I mean, it could be related. You know, not even related to anything with it, but it seems to have just started happening. So we'll run it on another stage in the background here, and we'll just make sure that that's running fine.
Sub-Zero. Round 1, fight.
Where we at here? Slider controls. There we go. So we'll just run this in the background, and we'll keep an eye on it, just to make sure it's nothing that was changed that is causing it. As far as the routine goes, it's something, it's pretty standard. I've used it, you know, a bunch of times. But so here we got the game timer. When that thing reaches, or was it? 39 or so, I think it was. But I mean, I guess we can redo this thread, or this routine, and just make it a little more efficient. We can just reuse the same structure. Just watching this timer up here. All right, so the other stage seems to be running fine. It's past the counter. Thanks, Sub-Zero. Alright, so that's what we'll do. We'll just rewrite this this one here. Reuse the same structure. I can't see how it's making a difference because it's really not that big of a deal. I believe this is the right one. We're going to find out here. It's been a while since I don't even think I've ever had to do that, but we're going to find out. So basically what's going to happen is when it gets back down, we're going to jump back up to, we're not going to kill it because we're not going to have to.
Round one, fight.
Alright, so let's see what that
Is that your best?
Michael, did you get my messages about the inputs? When I grabbed those inputs, I don't know if they were just uh, something with my keyboard. But you might want to try like high kick, high punch on player 1 and maybe just high punch or just high kick on player 2. See if that helps out. Alright, so that's that. Let's try this again here. Not sure if this is the right routine.
Round one, fight.
Look at that. It's like raining. Let's check my address here. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're gonna have to Okay, Michael. Alright, so we got two problems. We gotta make it disappear, and then we also have to reset it, which I thought that routine was gonna do it. Let's take a look here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's the right one. BPO. Oh, let's just do a quick on the fly. Alright, so that fixes that first issue. So we got our acid drop back. Now what we'll have to do is let's check its current state real fast. Need to get an attribute from the structure real fast. We're going to switch this particular attribute to make it invisible, and when it drops, make it visible, and when it hits the last frame of animation, make it invisible. That way, we can make it disappear after the animation at the end, but make it reappear when we recall it. So let's put a breakpoint here.
0.
All right, let's see. Yo, 2, 60, okay. Okay. 12. 13. Okay, so we'll do 10. Hey, this is a little bit kind of, I mean, I don't like the code, but this is basically how it's going to happen, I guess. Do, 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 do. See if I'm thinking about this right. It's been a little while. I think the last time I worked on this particular attribute change like this is probably with Raiden's body electricity. I had a nasty crash on the machines only, and it took me a long time to track down what it was that was causing it, but it was actually, it had to do with this attribute I'm working with right here. We gotta relocate this because our other script is getting a little long. What is this? Oh, okay, we can just wipe this. We don't need this. This is an old idea. I had an idea that I started working on. I put some good time into it. It didn't really work out. It basically is going to be just a debugger on screen. Not a full debugger, but just like debug information being shown on screen. And it worked on MAME, but machine not so much. The watchdog didn't like it. It resets whenever you would do it. But the idea was just to stop everything. I can completely pause everything and bring up an on-screen menu, and out of few different options you can have. It was going to be like 6 to 8 different data PIDs you can have up there. number of threads, number of pallets, stuff like that, useful stuff uh, to help with machine debugging, because obviously you can't debug on it, and you'll get some weird machine only problems once in a while, and it can be a little frustrating, but as long as take your time, it's really not that uh, not that bad. It's important to have good testers, that's for sure.
Sub-Zero.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, there's. Okay, yeah, that's not the value I was expecting. So
Round one, fight.
okay, I got an idea. It's a good reference there. I want to make some disappear. Guess who we're gonna use here?
Reptile.
Here we go.
Sub-Zero. Round one, fight.
Okay. Well, hell, Paul, you already had a routine defined for it. Come on. It's only just been a while here. All right, so it's kind of good because it's going to shorten up the code. All right, so we got that, and R2. Maybe not too much, but Alright, so alright, let's see what this does. This should do it. See the living forest still running strong over there. You can probably get out of that. It's probably fine. I'm just gonna let it run through. We'll see how it runs.
Round one, fight.
There we go. Much better. So we are repurposing the same structure object. We're not recreating anything, not killing any more threads, not killing tables, none of that. So this is probably the best and most efficient way to do something like that. Now, obviously, if you do the acid rain, we can probably make the acid rain a little bit better as well. We'll probably use a couple threads, maybe 3, 4 drops. As you can see, I got rid of the 2-hit combo taunts because they're kind of annoying. Alright, so that should be good. We'll let that run. I don't think that's gonna change our problem. I'm expecting around this game timer, the 3900 mark, would probably start acting up. We'll see though. I'm gonna save this routine though, because this is definitely a lot more efficient. What do you guys think about the the rate of the drips, the frequency? They seem to be pretty good. Not too much. So what's better, which I don't see happening here, is the constant pallet instance increasing, decreasing. Hopefully it did something, but I'm not too sure. We're gonna find out here in about a minute. Here's our palette for the acid. I also see there's no constant timestamp being updated either. I don't know. It seems like it's good now. I mean, it's lasting longer than what it did before. So we'll just let that go and see how long it goes. It seems like it's pretty good now, though. So if there's some kind of counter with the palette indexes, or it's maybe it's a bug in the game that they just didn't care to fix because they knew rounds wouldn't go that long anyways. Alright, that's cool. Fantastic. Alright, so let's, while we're here, let's do that same method that we just did on the acid drops, or acid drips, and put that on the acid rain. So there's a couple different ways you can animate stuff in this game as well, and I was having a little bit of a problem with that glitching out after so long that I thought it was something with the way it was being animated, but I know now that that's not the case. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this extra code that's we don't need, and we'll get rid of this because we're not going to destroy the object, but we will do we can probably, I mean, we don't have to assign an instance, but in case if you ever wanted to destroy something, it's always, I guess, a good idea to do it. But I guess in this case, I can probably just destroy the entire thread. But we'll still give it that just in case, because you never know. We might have to kind of destroy tables or all the instances of it, like say when it comes to a fatality or something, and it causes a crash because all of those raindrops are loaded or something like that. We'll go through and we'll run a wipe on all those extra instances, get them out. So we're going to do the same routine as we did on the acid drips. We're going to do that on the acid rain. Let's see, animation load sprite. Animation sprite. So what we'll do is we'll take the same. First strip load sprite. Okay, so it's going to. You know what? Got that wrong. Alright, so that's not supposed to be there anyways. It's supposed to be right there. Copy this back over. My jump was a little off. It works, but there's no need. Say if we're making the initial acid drop here, there's no need to go through this part again in the same on the first pass, because this is here for the second pass when we reuse the same drop. It calls in the first frame of the animation back to the drip, so we can, you know, it's not a big deal because it'll just load the same one over, but technically I want to skip that. I want to jump over it since I don't need to redo that first frame. It's already on the first frame, nor would I need to do this routine that makes it visible because it's already visible. It's alright, so Alright, so we want one thread. Oh, by the way, there's not going to be, you're not going to have acid rain and the acid drops if you're playing the Deadpool. I don't think it's kind of an overkill. So when it comes to the Deadpool, you're going to get the acid drops, not the rain, unless you specifically activate the cheat, and then you're going to have the rain, and then you're not going to have the drops. If that makes any sense, or drips, drops. So we'll go here and wind a thread there. So we got to make it invisible. Then we're going to pull in. Let's see. This is the part that's going to need some tweaking here. We're going to tweak the amount of acid drops here. I'm kind of curious on how much better it might be now that that other problem's fixed. I don't know if that was causing an issue, but sometimes it would seem to want to glitch out a little sooner than last time. So hopefully this fixes that as well. Code's a little bit longer, but that's alright. Alright, so we'll call that that other problem fixed. That's good, because I had no idea where that was coming from. Alright, so let's see if we got this right here. This is the first time testing that
Round one, fight.
okay. Seems to be pretty good. What do you guys think about the rate, the consistency, or the frequency of the drops? Should I get rid of the whole splash deal if it hits the character? I mean, because the drop kind of makes it... There's really another splash pattern for it as far as the animation goes, but...
I rule this world.
That's another thing. It seems like those do cause combo counts. Obviously, they weren't taken into account. So I get some pretty interesting stuff happening. And this is just one thread, also, which would be, I mean, it's pretty nice, just one thread being able to do the drops on its own. So we might not have to do another one, which would be cool for efficiency. So we can tweak the delay. They seem to get a little bit faster. Another game mode, I was wanting to do maybe something, I guess Mortal Kombat 10's got this. Michael's told me about a poison mode. If you're poisoned, your health decreases slowly. Or another one like infection, maybe the last person to get hit, their health decreases, so they kind of have to be aggressive to tag the other player. Let's see if I can throw him into an acid drop. Oh, there we go.
All too easy.
8 hits. So you see, there's some things to adjust when it comes to the hits with the acid. I'd like to keep them in the combos just in case. That probably should have been a 2-hit. some reason it's counting. Oh, let's see. We can probably look that up really fast. Just to see what's going on there. Let's pull up the combo display. Routine here. It's something I completely rewrote recently too, and it's a lot better. Let's save this. So it's coming up on the timer for the glitch. It was about 3,900. Let's see how it works, how it does on this routine. Expect it to be good. I don't expect any problems. Alright, so here is the routine that logs the hits for combo counts. We're going to see, for one, who it's logging the combo hit to. And two, let's see if there's something we can do to fix that. So Baraka is about to get hit right now. Alright, and we're past the timer of the glitch thing, so we're gonna say that's awesome. That's fixed. 162. Okay, so it's player 2. Opposes move index to check if okay. Okay, so the attacks are they're logging to the correct character, the correct side. There's probably not there's definitely not a clear routine coming in and clearing them out at some points. All right, so that looks pretty good. And here's a little, let's see if this still works. It's been a while, but when I first put these, the cheat system in here, I didn't realize that there was other parts in the game that the cheats could be detected, the inputs. So once I found that out, I was gonna fix it, but I thought it was pretty funny to watch the computer play with some of this stuff on. I'd say the acid rain and the acid drops, whatever you want to call them, pretty good. turbo mode's still on too.
Raiden. Round one, fight. Sub-Zero. Round one, fight.
All types of stuff you can do. I mean, I'd like to put a lot of this stuff in single player just to make it fun. I mean, because the game's over 20 years old, and
Is that your
I think it's cool to add new stuff like that, but then at the same time, you know, keep it close to factory for people that like that type of thing too.
Malina. Sub-Zero Jax. Round one, fight.
Oh, damn it. I wanted to do something.
Well, Jax. Kumao, outstanding. Round one, fight.
Alright, so that's good too. We got strings that are showing up without any kind of glitches there. Initially there was a problem with the string count because this game has a limit that it preset at, I think, 4 strings maybe at one time. And they kind of occupy the same area in RAM. So I initially had a problem with the calling those extra strings at the beginning, but I had to fix that, so that's good. What I want to do is let's make this actually, let me pick some better characters. I want to go Smoke and Smoke 2v2 just to see how it handles. Let's try to ramp up the acid and see how much it can do.
Jax. Round one, fight. I rule this. Excellent. Outstanding. Superb. Well done.
Oh, that's awesome. Just seeing the acid cause a combo hit. That's pretty funny. Wow. Oh, damn it.
I rule this world.
Be interesting to see how this runs on machine. Let's get knocked out of my teleport. Again. Yeah. Pretty funny.
You are nothing. Outstanding. Outstanding. You are nothing. Outstanding. I rule this world. Outstanding. Reptile.
I'm surprised it lasted that long with all that was going on, but it seemed pretty good.
Sub-Zero. Round one, fight! Is that your best? Baraka. Round one, fight. Finish him. Baraka wins. Flawless victory. Fatality. Baraka. Round one, fight.